Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. Hey everyone, thought we wouldn't be able to get another episode in, but it seems like we're actually able to, so we're going to get into another episode of My Hero Academia, and we're trying to do it as fast as we can, so if I'm talking too fast, you know why now. Here's episode 2 of season...
At least they might know why after rewinding a couple times.
Yes, a couple times, yeah, they'll understand exactly what I'm talking about and why we're having to move so fast, and we're now on to episode 2, an episode called Vestiges, and why Funimation app do you have to play? Why? Because you're a dickhead, because, you know, Funimation's a company that, in all honesty, does not honor any people who actually do good work for them, and instead they just reward the loudest. Anywho.
Also, the streaming app kind of sucks.
Yes, it does, if I'm being honest. Hey, buddy.
Well, I wasn't expecting to find you here.
You killed Snatch. He was a good hero.
Snatch, huh? That doesn't ring a bell. The only reason I'm here is to retrieve my fallen Nomu. I mean, no way I could win this fight, right? Unless the top two heroes were bloodied and beaten already!
You say that. Yeah, here comes Beast Bunny.
Patchwork! You're part of the league, huh? I'll kick your butt!
Man, and things were just getting good. See you later, number one. I'm sure we'll have time to have a heart-to-heart someday. I look forward to it. Until then, try not to disappoint. And don't you dare get killed!
This is just the beginning.
Oh, is that a fact?
I'd prefer it if you and I got along better, Dobby.
Thought you only had small feathers left after that battle.
If I'm going to meet a liar in a secret location, I'm not coming unarmed. You unleashed a Nomu in the middle of the city. One on a totally different level than the others we faced. If we're going to trust each other, you have to keep me up to date.
It is.
I guess I had a sudden change of heart. You said you'd bring a random pro along. I didn't expect the number one hero. Now that's not very fair.
You're the only one who broke a promise here.
Think of it as me testing our pet pro to see if I can actually trust his word. I'll be in touch, partner.
Oh, that's shitty.
We need you to infiltrate the League of Villains.
Okay.
I have to explain, because that sounds crazy.
We misread their strength. To truly stamp out these dark organizations, we need more information.
So you want me to get close to them, but expect me to sit back and ignore all the harm they cause?
We're asking you because we think you're someone who can ignore it.
I'm sorry, Endeavor.
That was Snatch, the sand guy, right?
Have you ever thought about the families of those you murdered in cold blood?
I've thought about it so much, it's driven me insane.
Sorry.
That's awesome battle scar, though.
They just got beastly scar now.
My injury.
I borrow that line the next time I get
Makes
the
me
crap out of
think
me.
that he kind of matches Todoroki a little bit now.
Yeah, oh god.
That Nomu came straight for us, as if it knew where we were, the exact moment we were talking about it. An odd coincidence, wouldn't you say?
The two new top heroes walking around together in broad daylight? I made a scene while we were on the streets just so I can make this flimsy excuse.
If you plan to keep investigating this, you're going to need someone to back you up.
Aw, and you care about me so much you'll be my bodyguard. That's so nice.
I'll incinerate you!
He's still Endeavor.
This is a proposition. By going after the League of Villains from both the inside and the outside, we can cut off their retreat and box them in.
Really? Huh. You're calling it a proposition even though you know I can't possibly refuse you.
A kid? You mean a child saved everyone?
That accident was terrible. I can't believe it.
This boy has a natural gift. He should become a hero. Please, allow us to support your family while we help him reach his potential.
And so he actually liked Endeavor as a kid.
Yeah.
I want to live in a world where heroes have too much time on their hands. And I'll make sure that happens.
Welcome back home.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Shoto got permission to leave campus for dinner. I asked his teacher to come in and join us, but, he said no.
It's a bad scar. Looks painful. Sorry, sis, but I'm out. I can't do this.
Wait!
If you have something to say, then talk.
Oh, give me a break. That's rich coming from you. Okay then, I found out today that Shoto likes soba. I know nothing about my brother because you didn't want him to have anything to do with us failures. For some reason, Mom and Sis are both ready to forgive you for how you treated us. But to me, you're still the maniac bastard who ruined our family. Even if you're the #1 hero, that doesn't erase the past. Mom screams. Shoto's crying. What happened to our big brother, Toya?
I plan to be your father now and atone for what I did.
It's too late! I'm sorry, Sis. Thanks for the food.
I think that was the first time I've ever seen Natsu show that much emotion.
2 days after the fight.
It's gonna be a hard process. You're gonna have to peel back the layers piece by piece in terms of like all the hatred that's been built up.
Look at him! I used to be a huge fan of Headshot, but Endeavor's totally my top hero after that.
I was actually super excited to see representation for fire types.
The child, now known by the nickname Look Boy, struck a chord with
Look
Min
Boy.
during the fight. However,
Look at him!
Look, he looks like the guy from Fairy Tail.
I have to agree with what Natsu said. I still can't forgive you for what you did to Mom, and that's my choice to make.
Not yet.
As for being my father, I'll have to watch your actions to see if you earn that.
I must guarantee their future. If that's the job of the pro at the top, then I've failed with my own family. I'm sorry for everything. And I should have handled that conversation with Natsuo differently.
It's Natsuo, okay.
After basic physical training, I worked on One for All until I was exhausted and passed out on top of my sheets. Wait, there. I'd had a vision like this before. They were the vestiges of One for All. I can't talk, but I can move my right arm.
Brother, why do you resist me?
Brother.
That voice, I'll never forget it.
That's
all for one. I refuse to stand by and watch as you corrupt everything around us.
What a callous thing to say. I'm trying to compromise with you. This man's jaw was transformed. Those wretched fangs simply won't stop growing. He's a kind-hearted man who takes care of his elderly parents. But he was persecuted, called sick, and a monster. This man has no abilities. On his way home from work one evening, he was attacked by a gang of metas.
No, don't! There's no turning back!
If I'm ever in need, will you lend me your aid?
Can go home, thank you.
I'll help too. I'm forever in your debt after this gift.
I saw two people in need and helped both of them using my ability.
I'm no fool. You don't care about them. You're just adding lackeys to your collection.
Why do you ignore the joy my power brings them? I can use my power to restore a sense of order. So which one of us is actually indulging in self-interest, would you say?
Do you even remember how many innocents you've toyed with before you abandoned them?
You'll lose your tongue before you insult him again.
Poor thing. Born without any meta abilities. Without power, you can't hope to achieve anything. You're a pitiful hypocrite. Choice to those without power. Mercy to those who have sinned.
I refuse to become the man you want me to be.
But you should have been there. You should have seen them fall, all of them. They let their powers go to waste, formed factions, rose against me. But it wasn't by my hand that they lost their lives. My multitude of adoring friends took it upon themselves to spite the wicked and act on my behalf. I couldn't be more thrilled.
Reminds me a lot of Dracula from Symphony of the Night.
The villain always loses in the end.
Dreams have become reality. And reality doesn't follow stock plots. I believe it's time you finally bend to my cause. I've found a meta power for you. Even your pathetic body can utilize it.
That was the birth.
You're the ninth wielder, right? I'm sorry. I
The
wanted
original.
to show you more, but you're barely using 20% of the power yet. Don't be afraid. You are not alone.
Whoa. Holy shit.
Okay.
That was cool.
That was freaking wicked, dude.
Original voices talking to him. So.
Yeah, talking to him and letting him know, hey, you're not
Apparently
alone.
It was All For One that created it.
I figured it had to. I figured it had to have been that, man. I figured it from the beginning, because that is such a strange ability to have not had been created, or I don't know. But that's the thing. I don't know if All For One, or if All For One found it, or if All For One created it himself. Because he says that he found a quirk, and I'm giving it to you, brother. Mm-hmm. And basically, I don't know if, All For One, with his ability, was able to create a new ability that his brother, idolized, and, the type of ideals that his brother wanted and everything. I don't know. I really don't, man. This is... Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to finally see some, expanding on the lore behind it and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy.
'Cause, all we've really got up to this point was that the flashes that he's had of, seeing the shadows of, the previous people, and then we got the little bit of info about All Might's, the lady that All Might succeeded with.
Yes. Yeah, that was... that whole story was just an emotional roller coaster, because, from her, her son became Midoriya's potentially Midoriya's worst enemy.
Yeah.
Whereas All For One created One For All, and One For All has basically been passed down the entire way. And once All Might got it, I think All Might was probably the first one to really tap into the full ideals behind what All For One did. He was able to see it. He reached 100%, and then he got a full connection, and then he understood why All For One was so dangerous, because he literally created All For One, or he literally created One For All.
My guess for the conclusion of this series is probably pretty much it's gonna be ironic for All For One, because he essentially was the creation of his own downfall.
Well, I mean, that's the
dude. And I think that also
you talk about it.
The information that Midoriya is gaining on Shigaraki's. It was his mother, right?
Yes, it was his mother.
That's probably going to be a key to maybe breaking his insanity a little bit and showing him exactly how All For One manipulated him, and maybe actually bringing about a
change.
Yeah, a change of heart in him or whatever.
I can only hope, dude. But Shigaraki, I think, may be mentally too far gone.
Could be.
Because Stockholm Syndrome, no matter how your oppressor,
I mean, the girl from Fire Force seems too far gone to an extent, but also she still has a chance at redemption as well.
No, I think she does. I think mentally, again,
and if anything,
but
it's the closest comparison I can think of to the manipulation that would go into that.
Yeah,
that's what Giovanni did to her.
Oh yeah, definitely. Giovanni is a right bastard, and I fucking hate him. But I will say this: All For One's ability, for people who are afflicted with, a quirk that has made people fear them or hate them, I could understand, him using that to alleviate that and give them a quote unquote normal life.
Yeah.
Because again, guys,
it's kind of cool
it comes
that
down
they
to
went
choice.
into that, because one of the coolest things, the few Marvel villains that you're whenever they kind of have a point to an extent.
Yeah,
is
Killmonger has a great point.
Villains, yeah, Killmonger especially.
He's probably one of my favorite Marvel
villains.
Thanos
has an okay point, but in just a very
basic,
ass backwards way. That's just discarding morality for the sake of one goal that he perceives to be more moral than the
I think
rest of morality.
Thanos's overall means to an end ideal.
Yeah, Killmonger was honestly like he was really going for the right thing, just in the completely wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. He wanted to literally take over the world. He wanted to like, use the power that Wakanda had for ill.
Yeah.
But Thanos, I think Thanos's was born from literally him growing up on Titan and witnessing the downfall of Titan.
Didn't he want to share their technology with everybody else, basically?
Killmonger?
Like Killmonger?
No, he wanted to use the power to basically ensure that, that black people across the world were the ones in power.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah,
that was
he was basically trying to make up for, like, oppression and stuff, but it was just doing it in a very
bad, bad way. Because when your ends do not justify the means of obtaining that kind of thing, it's not right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like All for One is like, I like that they did that there, because that kind of, it always irks me when there's a villain that's just like, I'm going to destroy the universe. Why? Because.
Why?
It's like, because I'm evil. Like, it's just.
I was going to say.
It's a cooler reason to see, like, the logic behind them and, like, how they have a warped sense of, like, logic and morality. And then it is just like, I'm just going to blow up this planet because it amuses me. Like,
well, and that's.
Like Frieza from, Dragon Ball Z.
Well, and you see. Whenever it's portrayed like that, and we see the actual reason why Frieza destroyed Planet Vegeta was the threat that someone could rise up as powerful as Frieza. That's why Frieza did that.
There's a little bit better reason, but he just came off as really like, I'm destroying things because fuck it.
Well, and you see, truly maniacal bastards like that though.
Like Cell,
I like them.
Cell was just a lot easier to like.
Identify with,
identify with as a villain. Like
it was literally written into his code to be perfect.
Yeah, more of a clear-cut goal and stuff, and it was like he had a backstory that you could almost perceive as tragic in a way if he wasn't such an evil bastard.
Yeah,
and then you got Boo, who is another one of those. Just like he was created technically, pretty much like as a weapon of mass destruction, essentially. But it's just kind of like he's just destroying things because. Like so, but I mean, it's always more interesting to me when the villain's just like, well, I think this is, I'm helping people. Look, I'm helping people,
and that's
good.
Then
the heroes have to be like, but not that way,
You're not, but no, no, because
just a more interesting thing.
What the original wielder of One for All said was, you're not doing this for them. You're doing this for yourself.
Like I'm not necessarily like saying that like villains are bad. That are just written a little bit more like vaguely in terms of like their motives and stuff. It's just personally it's a preference to like have a villain kind of like All for One or like Killmonger where they really have their motivations explained.
They have they don't only have their motivations explained, but they also have a game plan for executing, and they're not dumb villains.
Something that you like when you hear, you're not just completely like that's just psychotic and makes no sense. Like
it's just like that's dumb.
You could be like that's psychotic, but unfortunately, it makes a small semblance of sense. Like basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. All right, well, we're gonna move on because stuff is going to happen down here. Loud music because of band practice and all that.
Mates are going to be over here in a bit.
Yeah. So, and also I need to help out Jacob upstairs. We're testing out his new Red camera, which is awesome. I cannot wait to play with that thing. But yeah. Anyway, everyone, thank you all very much for tuning in. And I guess until next time, signing off. I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you, everybody. Peace out.